Welcome to the Author to Authority podcast. And today you have just me, Kim Thompson-Pinder, host of the show. And I have a message that I want to share with you today. And it's about your 2021 power word. Now, I believe in the power of language and communication, and I truly believe in the power of words. That's one of the reasons why I love being a publisher and creating books is the power of words. It's one of the reasons why I did this podcast, so that words can go forth and make change. Now, something that I started a few years back was I had a word for the year. Now, I didn't intentionally go to do it, but coming out of 2018, I just really had this feeling of hope that things were going to get better, things were going to get changed, that the things that I was doing were matter and would count, and I would see results, and that, I would see the things that I dreamt of. So for 2020, hope became a very powerful word for me. And as I thought about that word and all the things that it meant, throughout the year, it grew and evolved, and it became this anchor for me. So when times were tough, and 2019 ended up, the last half of it ended up being a tough year, but that word hope just really carried me through and allowed me to continue knowing that even though things weren't the greatest right now, they were going to get better. I knew it. I had that hope, that strength, that faith in my heart that 2020 would be a better year. And then 2020 hit. And actually around the end of the last quarter of 2019 into 2020, I had a little interesting thing happen. I have an emoji that I like to use, and it's a happy face with sunglasses. And one day, as I was putting that into something, a phrase came to me. And the phrase said, "The future's so bright, you gotta wear shades." And so that became my 2020 word phrase. It doesn't always have to be a single word. Sometimes it could be a phrase, it can be a quote, it can be a scripture. One word, it doesn't really matter because it's about what speaks to you. So 2020 was, "The future's so bright, I gotta wear shades." And COVID hit, and while many businesses were struggling, and I really feel for entrepreneurs who are struggling, because I had spent a lot of time rebuilding my business in the beginning of 2020, COVID hit, and now people had time at home, and guess all of a sudden they wanted to write books. So my business actually exploded. And, I can understand what it's like when your business doesn't explode, because that's what 2019 was for me. So I came out of 2020, and, those two words, hope and the future's so bright, you got to wear shades, is still resonating in me. But in December of 2020, I started thinking about, I was actually thinking before that, November, I guess, what did I really want 2021 to look like? And I saw something at our church, and it said 2021 harvest, and it leaped out at me. And I thought, you know what? That's right. 2021 is going to be the harvest. But then more came in December, not just the harvest, but a release of the harvest. Because you know what? Sometimes the harvest comes, but you don't get to harvest it. Sometimes somebody else does. And so for me, 2021, I am going to see a release of the harvest of my hard work. Now, harvest doesn't come without tilling and planting and watering and fertilizing and hoping and praying for the good weather. And so I have been doing all those things diligently now for a few years. And I know that in 2021, it's my time for the release of the abundant harvest. So I want to ask you, what is your word or phrase for 2021? Maybe you've never done this before. And so here are a few hints and tips. First of all, it doesn't always come right away. Second of all, you've got to think about it. You've got to take that quiet time to still your soul and allow that inspiration to come. And third, it can change. Sometimes it changes in the middle of the year, right? So something might be good for the first 6 months and not for the second. So this is something that grows, evolves, changes, and it's all based on you personally. You can't copy what somebody else has done. It's got to be the word that speaks to you, that has meaning to you, that is powerful for you in your life. So I just want to encourage you to find that word, hold on to it, think about it, allow your mind to be inspired by it and your soul to be uplifted by it. And you will find by the end of the year that what you focused on comes to pass. So this has been Kim Thompson-Pinder on the Author to Authority podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you on the very next episode. Bye now.